Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to not just the LinkedIn Live, but actually today, for the first time, this is LinkedIn Live and YouTube Live. So we're going live both on LinkedIn and YouTube. We are not connected on YouTube yet, easily Fail Coach on YouTube. You will find it super quickly. But without me going into unnecessary rambling, um, I have a huge pleasure today to welcome my dear friend Andre. He's my dear friend from Portugal. And of course, we will be talking about doing business, investing, and so on in Portugal. But Andre, can you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the audience? Welcome to the show.
Great. Hello again, my dear friend Miha. First of all, thank you for this kind invitation. It's a pleasure to be here live with you. We used to talk a lot in our conversation, your calls, and share a lot just for ourselves. And now it's a pleasure to try to share some useful information that we can provide for our public and maybe answer some questions for people about living in Portugal, working in Portugal, and doing business in Portugal. That's what we do here with our company called Business Portugal. So it's a pleasure to be here and thank you again. I hope we enjoy this time.
Of course we will. We always enjoy our conversations. So let me switch here to the comments. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll put them on the screen so that Andre can answer all your questions. Andre, everybody I think already knows that Fail Coach was born in Lisbon or Lisboa. And Lisbon has a very, very special place in my heart. I always enjoyed going to Lisbon. I enjoyed the business conferences. I enjoyed meeting people. You are definitely one of my dearest Portuguese friends, even though you're not from Portugal, you're actually from Brazil. So maybe we can start with what got you to go from Brazil to move to Portugal, and then we'll go from there.
Wow, it's a nice introduction question because I always love to share this history about why we decided to move here, why I decided to bring my company, my consultant company, business consultant company here to Portugal, and what happened that time 5-6 years ago, and now what we think about this when we look behind, we look back and reflect about it. In 2014, we decided, me and my wife, to go and live abroad, go out from Brazil. So she lived out already, and I lived out. I lived in Angola in 2010 and 2011. So I had business experience abroad before, but it was in different time. And in 2014, we were looking for opportunities for countries, places to move and start another business. So I worked as a business consultant and IT development since 2009. So it was a step forward, more focused on business than technology on that time. The interesting thing is because before Portugal, we went to Canada. We went a very short period to Toronto, and when we came back from Canada to Brazil, we decided to move to some another country warmer than there because we went there in winter time. So people say it's not a reason, but maybe it is a good reason to see about climate situation. How is the forecast? How is the seasons in countries that want to live? So I saw an opportunity, a business opportunity here in Portugal, a consultant company, some company like mine, talking about business opportunities, ease of doing business, investments, and etc. And by that time, Portugal was finishing a long period, crisis period, and starting to entering the new era of optimistic marketing and development and the new economical cycle. So I came here to Portugal in 2015, in the beginning of the year, did some meetings, met some people, and had contact about accountability, some legal advice, and just started the company. Because one of good points here is the easy of creating new companies and put a company to work and start to attend your clients and emitting invoices and etc. So it showed really real thing. So it was great to see how people is open to talk. This is the most important thing. People is open to talk, and how you can see around and check more opportunities than other countries. So it was a good point that I saw in that time, and still being good now to meet people, talk with people. Okay, it's a bit different because this Corona situation just can't go and knock some doors and have normal uh, online, normal presential conversations. But people now are more open to do their online chats too. So back again for the results, it's good. The people is good. The weather is nice. Is a bit easy to talk with people. And okay, if you are good in what you do, if you are well experienced in the things you do with your company or as a professional, this means you can perform anywhere. And you can consider Portugal because it's a nice place to be, to live, and you can create good opportunities here. For investors, well, we see all on the news there are plenty of opportunities to invest in business, in real estate, in plenty of areas. So this is our focus, to work with business, and we are open to talk and receive everybody here.
Okay, okay. This is a good introduction. So, Portugal is part of European Union. European Union is really not tax heaven or anything like that. It's not like the Cayman Islands, or so. I'm guessing that's not the reason why you moved to Portugal, or you move your business to Portugal for the tax reasons. So, what would you say are the biggest benefits, maybe for business owners, and then what are the benefits just for investors?
Okay, okay. Uh, So it's a fact that it's not a fiscal paradise. It's not the best place, the best country in the world to put all your money. But people who wants to do business here are looking for more things than only business and money. So there are other things more about people who wants to really live and move. These are parts about it. But there are some public incentive and tax incentives about non-residents or newcomers that can apply for some tax incentives. And this is a part of work that we do. We have our legal partners. They are very specialized in business legal and entrepreneurial legal, enterprise legal. So they can adapt your situation for where you come, what you want to do, in which market you want to work with your company. This legal advice and accountants advice are key for success here. We focus more on strategic planning about the market viability and the market capitalization and etc. So these three parts about legal, accountant, and planning are the core for a business success. So independent on the country, we can say the tax here are huge. If you need to hire, to buy, to pay, VAT is all around Europe, but VAT in Portugal is one of the highest. But you can optimize this with a good accountant, and we have this structure with our partners to provide this. So there is a lot of challenges, but these challenges can be surpassed if you have the right advices and follow the rules, of course, and perform well and find a niche. This is a point I think you can ask another question about specific niches or etc.
Well, okay. So yes, I mean, what are some of the specific niches that you see are maybe the best way to or most suited for Portugal? I mean, what sets Portugal apart from Germany or France or Italy. Well, from France and Germany, yes, the more sunny weather. But Italy also has the sun and the sea and
Yeah,
so on. So
yeah.
why would I choose Portugal? What are some of the specific reasons that you see different investors and business owners choose Portugal for?
Okay, yeah. So it was a reasonable link that I started to do to this question because similar to Brazil, United States is a huge country, so lots of opportunities, but lots of competitivity. And when you need to start some business, even in Brazil or United States, you need a huge structure because you are dealing with hundreds of millions of people. So it's not easy to start a business. A country, a business that go all over the country in South America or United States. But Portugal has this specific thing here because this is a small country, only 11 million people. So it's a good to start to test to see how things works. And these small markets are good to test things to evaluate some business proposals, and it's an open door to Europe. So we use to call and talk this with our Brazilian customers, mainly because especially because of the ease of language, of course, the Portuguese speaking people. But since you have a business idea and you can perform this business idea here in Portugal because it's a very specific market, a small country, you probably can expand it to Spain, France, Germany, Italy, and the other European countries because you did the base, you did the market tests. If you go straight to Spain, if you go straight to France or Germany, even Italy, Spain and Italy are very similar than Portugal, but they are far bigger. So you need to invest far more amount of money. You need to risk more to test, to evaluate some your idea or product or service. And this is a good thing about Portugal because it's inside the EU. You can perform in a very small market, so you can test things, adapt things, and etc. And probably after your first or second year of operations, you can expand and go abroad. And in this second part, you can find support from EU and apply for public funds to expand your companies to other countries. These are good incentives, and this is how we normally advise our customers and companies that approach to us.
How about, I mean, I remember before Corona when we were still able to travel more. And, whenever I went to Portugal, and it was quite a few times, there were always meetups and conferences and a lot about entrepreneurship happening. Now, of course, I'm guessing that changed at least a little bit with the Corona, but what are some of the advantages of the supportive environment for investors and entrepreneurs? I know it's quite a vibrant ecosystem, but tell us a little bit more. I know you were very active. I don't know how much you are now with the Corona, but I know you were very active in that regard.
Yeah, it's interesting to again go back 5 years ago because when I started here and we landed here, it was right before the Web Summit era. We have a pivot point in 2016. Before 2016, there was no Web Summit, there was no such entrepreneurial and startup and creativity mindset yet. So we had the opportunity to see the beginning of Start Web Summit here in 2016 and 17 and 18 and last year as well. And this probably continued situation for the next 10 years in Portugal, hosting Web Summit. And since the events started here, I did some events and chatting in public events in 2016 as well, because it was very easy to invite people, call them to grab a coffee, grab some snacks, and talk about business, and invite some interviewer and have a chat like we are doing here now, but in a physical way. So there were lots of events like this. Now, they naturally change it to online. So we still have a lot of events here. If you go to meetups or any companies or startups or co-work space and see they still doing lots of online events. Some group associations, business associations still doing this, but online. So I think the events didn't stop because they can't. They need to still communicate and creating value, doing their network and creating opportunity for people. The secret is how. Okay, sorry.
Question.
Okay,
These events that are now happening in the online world, are they exclusively open just to still the Portuguese people, or are they more internationally open? And I could join the Zoom call or something like that.
well, this is a great point to mention here. Most of events, especially tech events and business events here, were always in English. So this opens a lot of range of people to go there because not all foreign people speaks or understands Portuguese because Portuguese is not an easy language. So since these events start to go online, more people can attend to these events and don't need to go to some place. So most of them is still being presented in English. So it's great. For example, if you want to see events about investments, you can easily find people talking about any kind of investments. For example, papers or real estate or business, etc. online here in Portugal from some associations or from some business groups, and you can follow them. The point is you can get a lot of information on events as well. We did it before, it was normal, but you normally don't make deals on these events. The secret is to attend an event, independent if it is a online or offline event, and try to reach people who attended the event or go to Q&As and messages and LinkedIn from the people and try to connect to them and see how you can help people and how people can help you as well. And this exchange of capabilities, this exchange of helps normally opens a good pathway to close deals and create business opportunities. So this is the advice. Attend the online events, even offline, if they has the opportunity, but I don't believe in offline events happening now. Go to online events, try to contact people via LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and see how you can help with your company or with your professional abilities, these people or these companies, and see how we can work together. It's not an easy way. It's not a thing that happens instantly. You just send a message and people answer you, and the next day you are doing business. This even though doesn't happen in offline events. You need to go in a plenty events, talk with a lot of people, trying to find some fit, and after dozens of people talk and follow ups, some people appear with opportunities. This is for people who are starting. For people who has their own business now, for people who want to expand their business from wherever they come to here, they can focus on companies or institutions, associations related for their business. We have business related to some efficient energy. Okay, let's look about the companies here, how we can interact. We have a company who provides software development solutions in a specific technology. Okay, let's see how the marketing is working on this and try to contact these companies. Okay, we have a solution for some specific needs and we are working to expand this on Europe, and which companies here could fit on our product or service. Let's try to contact these companies. But to create this strategy, to create this vision to where to go, how to talk after these first tests, again, this is a consultancy job that we need to do, and we saw an increase of demanding now because of these new online opportunities that are emerging, and we are working a lot with this new wave of tech companies or new ideas, and we are very happy to help them, and we hope these new solutions can change things for better in the near future. So opportunities are all around.
Okay, let's go to different kind of incentives. So one is the supportive environment. Now, later, I want to touch on availability of workers and the expense of having workers, if there are any benefits in that. But I want to start with something else first. You know, quite a lot of quite a lot of countries offer different incentives, like government-wise. Maybe you get, lower priced space, or maybe you get some tax incentives in the first year, first 5 years, first 10 years, or something to bring in either investors or entrepreneurs. Does Portugal has anything like that in place as a country, incentives for entrepreneurs and investors to come to Portugal?
Okay, great question, Miha. And this is a bit tricky to talk because it depends a lot in which area you want to develop your business, in which area are you playing on. So, in the other hand, in a counterpart too, you need to see where do you want to establish a company. For example, if you want to go in some countryside areas and develop some specific solution for a countryside place, you have different benefits than capital cities like Lisbon or main cities like Porto or Braga. So Portugal has some regions, and dependent on the regions you want to establish a business, you can get some incentives. And in this part, we have a very specific partner that can analyze these proposals and see in which part of the country they can put their business and get these benefits. But yes, there are benefits, and the benefits in Lisbon area and Porto area are smaller than countryside areas, but they exist, and they call it Portugal 2020. The 2010 incentives are finishing this year, and they now are open the incentives for Portugal 2030. The next 10 years, funds and investments will open this year and the beginning of next year. So a new wave of incentives will be available for national incentives and European incentives. So this needs to be seen in a specific business for a specific place. It's not common for all the country. It depends on the business and depending on the place you want to establish their business. There is no right and straight answer for this question. Sorry.
Okay, I mean, I understand. So a good thing is to reach out to Andre and talk to you and tell you about my business and what I'm doing, what my plans are. And then you, with your business partners, you can look into it, make a little bit of discovery, and then you can say, oh, Micha, I really suggest that maybe you don't look at Lisbon, but maybe we can go to this part of the country because they will support this and this and this, and these are the incentives that you can get and make the whole transition even smoother. Okay.
Exactly. We are free to have a contact to talk for 30 minutes about a business idea and offer these directions and how to start. For
Okay.
us, normal, and we are open to this.
Okay. Now, the second part of the question was, let's say, I want to create a business in Portugal, but it's not a remote business. It's not international people working for me, but I need local people. And maybe I need a mix of, just employees, regular employees, and then maybe I need some high-skilled employees and more technical or something like that. So how is with the whole, workforce availability and the expense of having employees in Portugal? I know in Slovenia, I think we are number 2 country in European Union on how much the work is taxed. I think it's Finland and then Slovenia. So I think it's more than double. So if I give somebody 2,000 euros paycheck, I think it will cost me over 4,000 euros. Well, maybe I'm a little bit off here because it's been a while since I was doing things in Slovenia. But I mean, I think we are number 2 in European Union. Do you have any idea where Portugal is in Texas? And of course, the availability of the workforce.
Okay, okay. This is a trick question because depends on the kind of specialization and technical skills you are looking for. For example, Portugal now is in a very good wave for tech companies. So to find a good developer, to find good designers, to find good UXers are not so easy as they were 3, 4, 5 years ago. But in the other hand, there are lots of foreign people moving here with this skill to work with these consultants companies as IT people or design people, etc. So since the demand is created, because the demand is here, the professionals, because most of tech professionals don't have problems to work at home, especially, it starts to be more available to work here. And this creates a match. But going outside the IT and tech situation, if you need an engineer, if you need an architect, if you need an electrical technician, mechanic technician, the universities here are good and they provide very good quality of formation here inside the university. But most of people go outside Portugal because they not always see good opportunities here to work. So maybe can be opportunity, and lots of people still talking about it. Portugal universities offer a very good and recognizing EU and worldwide rate of education, but not all the time the market can absorb these newcomers, these new professionals, and they go abroad. So how to invert this? How to invite them to stay in their country? Because if you ask some new people who just graduated, most of them want to stay here, but not all the time they find a fit to apply their new knowledge and apply to the things they studied at the university. And it's a bit tricky. So how to solve it? I'm not the right guy to answer this. Specific about costs, it is to go online and find where labor costs in the most and less in the European Union. And interesting to see, because I looked to a graphic here. I don't know if I can share here specific, but Portugal has less labor costs because the cost of living is still being less than the other European countries. But for a company, if you want to hire high-skilled workers, you have to pay something, and even the professional has a lot of discounts on the ARS. So it's normal. It's not. I think Serbia has far less opportunity than Portugal in this way. I don't know how Serbia is in this question, but for American people, for example, the labor market is more open in America. It depends on the part of America, of course, but here they are more restricted. It's different. The labor contracts are more restricted, but anyone can start their own activity and provide their services for a company as a kind of company, but a single worker, not a hired worker. So they can get more pay grades in this if they are very high skilled, and this is a possibility here. So depends on the situation. High skilled people normally work for consultant agents, and these consultant agents allocate people for the jobs or companies or etc. Very, very high skilled people normally works as they are consultants and offer their services for the companies. Base people who works in restaurants, attendants, call centers, etc., works in the base of jobs. Normal, I think, is the similar situation in any country, and apply the situations and contracts similar to the others. But again, depending on the professional. So in a position for the contractor, if you have a business and you need to find people, go to the university, find these partnerships, go to the incubators maybe, Go to the associations, maybe. Go to the there's an institute called here, the Labor Institute, that has lots of applications there. And people who are in the unemployment situations are available to be interviewed and get their jobs. And again, it depends on the place. In Lisbon, in Porto, there are more people available, but there are more competition to hire these people. In other parts, in countryside, it's different. So Portugal is in focus now, so you really expect to have some competition here. It's true, but still having some work labor available, and depends on the environment you create to offer good conditions for their workers.
Okay. Andre, before we start closing down this interview, another question. So, if I'm an investor or I'm an entrepreneur and I'm looking at moving to Portugal, one of the things that, is always interesting is the availability and the cost of living. Either maybe I will buy my apartment, I will buy my house, or I will rent it. So what are some possibilities here? Where are we with the prices? Can you talk a little bit about the real estate options, whether if I'm renting or buying?
Okay. It's interesting again because it depends on what you really want. If you want just to go and buy, there are lots of opportunities. The market is a bit inflated, especially in Lisbon and Porto. But if you go just 30 minutes out the downtown city, out of around Lisbon, even north or south margin, and in Porto is the same, you can find very good deals. But if you really, really want to stay inside the city, now it's a bit inflated, but there is a continuous tendency to keep these prices, or the prices still increasing even with corona. This is a situation with no precedents since now. So Portugal, Spain, Italy has similar real estate dynamics, different than, for example, France and Germany. And especially because French people has lots of benefits and tax benefits to buy houses here and get tax benefits from there. But it's about French people. And about house price, to buy a house or to rent a house, try sometimes to avoid specifically Lisbon or Porto, because the prices are a bit high valued than they were 3 or 4 years ago. If you can live 30 minutes from city, it's very easy to find good deals yet. So it's a question to go around to find a real estate agent that can offer you a good support and see places. Now we always recommend for people to rent a house or apartment at least for 6 months or a year, especially if they have kids and want to see the neighbor or the place they want to live, because it's interesting. The cities are very different in a neighbor and then in another neighbor for the style of architectural houses, the new buildings or all the refurbished buildings, and depends on what you want. This maybe can be a good point because you can only in one city see a lot of different areas in a lot of different architectural styles and buildings, so you can make your choice and still have a lot of available homes, especially for buy. To rent depends. In Lisbon, still lack of rental apartments and houses. The demand is far bigger than the offering now.
Okay. Well, my last question would be on this topic is, what about connectivity? Airplanes, highways, trains, public transport, and also connectivity. How good is the internet? How fast is? How reliable? I think both connectivities to travel for meetings or for business purposes or even for private purposes, and then also the connectivity with mobile data, real data, like landline and so on. It's also very important when we are thinking about the business.
Okay, perfect. If you see the benchmarks and comparisons around Europe, Portugal has one of the best internet connections, one of the best fiber internet connections. So you can have at home very fast internet, 1 gigabits, 10 gigabits, or even faster if you need. But even on contrary, you can get good internet signal, good mobile phone signal, and the good structures and access structures. Portugal has more highway kilometers proportional of this countryside, of course, than any country in Europe. So you still have to pay tolls, but you have easy ways to go and come from anywhere. You can just travel from Lisbon to Porto in 3 hours or less. So you can go from the north point, from south point in Portugal in less than 6 hours. So by car, it's easy to go and get. There are very good highways. The airports, the three main airports, works great, especially from Lisbon, Porto, and Faro. Now, okay, we are a bit restricted, but everybody is around the world is the same. Another point about this geographic point here is because you are not so far from, for example, United States, we are 4 or 5 hours, the same from South America. And the East Europe or even Asia, you are more 6, 7 hours time change. So we are right in the middle, like UK. So we have the same UK time, the same travel time from London, from UK to any part of the world. So these access are really great because you don't need to spend lots of time driving or lots of time flying from one point to another point. Another specific situation that I would mention here is the public educational system. The public schools normally are very good and high evaluated for the people, and these public schools are good. There are a lot of private schools as well for people who are looking for moving in with their families, and this kind of structure of various architecture buildings on cities, easy highway access, airport access, rails access. You can travel by train from Lisbon to Porto in the same 3 hours or less, depends on the time or the train. So this makes easy things to do. We have partners in Porto. Sometimes you need to get a train or by car, go there, have a meeting, solve problems, attend some customers, and go back in the same day. It happens, and it's real true here in Portugal. You can drive 700, 800 kilometers in a day and basically go all around the country and doing 3, 4 meetings in this day. So this is practical and is very different, for example, than Brazil, that I used to work with customers and companies 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers from our office. So it was impossible to go in a round trip in just a day. You normally spend a week. So here, no, you can do round trips and go everywhere just in a day. It's a very good point.
Well, that's, I guess, one of the pluses of Europe anyway, because everything is quite near. I mean, if I look at Slovenia, 45 minutes from Ljubljana, the capital city, and you are at border with any of the four countries that we border to. Well, Andre, two more questions. The first one, what is the best way? We have a few people watching us live on YouTube. We have a few people watching us live on LinkedIn. You can't see that number. I don't know why. And of course, we will have some people watching this on the replay as well. So what is the best way for people who are considering, thinking about Portugal, moving there, living there, investing there, doing business there, to get in touch with you?
Oh, the best way to get in touch with us is with our website, www.businesspt.pt. It's easy, businesspt.pt or businessportugal.pt. You just can click in chat and send a message. The site is still in Portuguese, sorry, but you can send a message in our chat in English, no problem. And the best advice I can tell to all your audience and people who will watch this after is to do your planning. We see it in all countries, wherever you want to move or put your business. Do the plan, do the research, or hire a consultant to build a good business plan for you, to see the market, to see the opportunities, because everybody has ideas every day. I have ideas, you have ideas, the people has ideas, and since you have ideas, lot of other people and other companies are having the same ideas. So who knows? Yeah, we need to the specific tools, the specific data to try to see the demands, try to see the waves which are coming, the waves which are going, and try to avoid mistakes and reduce risks. This is the main point, depending on the country you want to go, even United States, Brazil, Angola, Slovenia, or Portugal. And this is the part we defend a lot, this business preparation, the business planning, to see the business opportunity before and decrease the risks and open more opportunities. So this is our advice for now.
Perfect. Well, Andre, that leaves us with my last question. And this one is, well, it depends on you. If you want, it can be related to the conversation so far. And if you want, it can be just general business advice or whatever you feel is that last golden nugget of wisdom that you want to share with the audience. Whatever you want.
Last gold of wisdom. I think nobody has this gold of wisdom. So nobody is the god who has the
No,
knowledge.
not God, not God. Last golden nugget. That's how the Americans say, like that last piece of advice that you feel like sharing with the audience. Whatever you feel, it can be Corona related, business advice, motivation, or, just continuation of what we were talking so far. But what's that last thing that you want to leave the audience with?
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get the point of your question. Sorry for my misunderstandings. Well, I will insist in planning, independent if you are planning to moving because of personal reasons or professional reasons or business opportunity. Focus always on planning. Stay in tune with your family, with your partners if you have, and talk a lot about it with your partners, with your family, in what you are looking forward, what do you expect for next to the new countries. Sometimes people still hiding their ideas or hiding their business because they don't want other people to copy them or do the same before them. But the point is not only the idea or not only the willing to do something. The point is always the execution, how to executions to execute something, how to do and perform this well. So talk with people, talk with your family, talk with your relatives and friends and partners and whatever about everything you want to do before moving or before applying to a new job or before applying to a university, before go out home if you are young enough to live with your parents yet. So discuss with people the ideas, see their feedbacks, and you can expand a lot this mind. So I think we live in a world of sharing thoughts, and I always recommend people to talk and sharing more their thoughts before anything.
I agree. Preparation is always the key. If you look at how your morning started, it started the day before. When you go to bed, how well you rest, if you eat too much or drink before going to bed, and then your whole day starts in the morning and so on. And it's always the preparation is always the key to really effectively use the day, the week, the year, and so on. Andre, as always, it was a huge pleasure talking to you. It was great having you here, telling us about the beautiful Portugal. And yeah, I just wish you all the best on your journey. And hopefully one day you will help me move to Portugal as well.
Great.
So who knows? I hope that one day this might come to some fruition.
Always a pleasure, Miha, and will be a special pleasure to help you and your family, dogs, and etc. The time you want to move here, as we do with our customers, friends, partners, and etc. It was a pleasure to share here this time with you all, and hope to see them again in Seoul.
Take care, Andre. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
So, everybody, another Monday, another interview. This time, my really dear friend, I've known Andre now for, I think, about 5 years. We met many years ago when we were both speakers at Fuck Up Nights, which is a conference all around the world where people share their failures and the fuck ups, as the name says. And yeah, I really love what he's doing, and he's been helping many companies, many entrepreneurs, many investors over the last many years to move and relocate and start their business or open their first opportunity that then spreads throughout Europe and so on. So yeah, check him out. If you are watching this on LinkedIn, then you can just connect with Andre on LinkedIn. I will make sure that I will tag him in the text once we are done with this live. If you're watching this on YouTube, then just go to my LinkedIn profile and you'll see Andre is my friend, and then you can connect with him. Or, of course, you can go to his website, businessportugal.pt. That's it for today. On Thursday, we have another 4-hour-a-week CEO series. Next Monday, we have another great interview. Until then, I wish you all an amazing week ahead of you. Happy Monday today. I wish you all the best. I hope you guys are well throughout this craziness, wherever you are in the world, whatever is happening in your part of the world. I hope you are doing the best you can with what you have. Like I said, I'll see you next Thursday on LinkedIn Live, and then next Monday with another interview. Take care.